everybody, I'm Rebecca here at Y Mermaids, and it's Tag Friday, so today's tag is the "You haven't read that?" tag. This was created by Sabrina at Steakachino, and I was also tagged by her, so thank you, Sabrina, for A, making this tag, and B, tagging me, because I love tags. Who doesn't love a good tag? I do. This tag is simple. It is just to name 5 books that you're surprised people haven't read. Now, if you have not read these books, I'm going to go ahead and apologize and say that, like, I think nothing less of you because you have not read these books, but you should go and get them and read them, like, now, because they are really good books. Like, they're amazing books, and do it. But at the same time, like, I totally get it, because we all come from different backgrounds and read other books, but yeah, you should read these books. The first one is, obviously, Harry Potter by J.K. Rowling. Even if you only read this one, you should read this one, because it is a monument to its time. It's like saying you have never read, well, that doesn't work because I'm about to say some more, but it's like saying you haven't seen Star Wars or, you know, Casablanca. Like, it's one of these, like, classic epic books that took over a generation, and you should read it if you haven't, and do it now, please. Thanks. And then we can be friends. The next book is The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. I really liked this book. It's one of my favorite books that you read in school, and it's such a classic, especially American lit. Good classic American lit that I feel like every American should read, and I'm gonna tailor these. These are kind of more American, some of them. So yeah, The Great Gatsby, especially because the Leonardo DiCaprio movie just came out like last year, and that was really good. So if you liked that, you should read the book where it came from. This is one that not as many people I feel like have read, but I still find it shocking when people haven't, and I feel like you should go read it because it has changed my life, and that's Anne of Green Gables by L.M. Montgomery. I talk about this book a lot because I love it so much. So when people are like, I've never heard of it, I'm like, what are you talking about? Go read it. It's just, especially for young girls, it's really important to read. It's really relevant to you, to most girls, I think, and it's just really good, and so you should read it if you haven't read it. The next one is The Giver by Lois Lowry. This is one that I read in, like, middle school or late elementary school. I think a lot of people read it in, like, 7th or 8th grade in America, and it's like an easy dystopian that kind of lets people, it's an easy, like, get into the world of dystopians. It's fairly short as well, obviously, but this book changed my life. It's one of the few books that I remember, like, loving at such an early age, and I'm like, how have you not read this book? Because it's so good. And finally, To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. Especially now that Ghost at a Watchman's coming out, like, later this year, you should definitely read this one if you haven't already. Again, this is one that I know is very American as opposed to anywhere else because it is such an American story, and you might not really find it as important if you live in other cultures because you don't really, you know, might not recognize the significance of it. But as an American and as an American in the South, like, this book, this book, it's so good. I love it. And when people tell me they've never read it, I'm like, did you not go to public school? Because I feel like everybody read this in school, or was supposed to at least. And I mean, yeah. If you haven't read it, like, seriously, this is the most important one. Go. If I could, like, hand this to you through the camera, I would do that because it's just so good. Well, those are my 5 I can't believe you haven't read them yet books. Yep. And again, don't, you know, if you haven't read it, I'm not, like, picking on you. These are some of my favorite books that I feel like everybody should read. And so a lot of them you read in school, so it's like, you didn't read that book? Because I read that book. Anyway, let me know down in the comments below what you think about any of these books, or what your books are that you're like, you haven't read that? What are you, kid? Where have you been hiding under a rock for your life? What are you doing? Read the book. Let me know that down there. And that's it for me today. I will see you next time.